Republicans have grand visions of what 21st century America should look like. And when you hear about it, you'll realize it sounds a lot like 19th century America, without all the pesky income taxes, regulations, labor rights, civil rights, especially women's rights. The men over at the Heritage Foundation, a wealthy right-wing think tank swarming with former Trump administration officials, have published a very detailed plan for the next Republican president. In the section on abortion, you get a good sense of what's coming for us. Aside from ostracizing single women, renaming HHS the Department of Life, and implementing a federal ban on abortion, they also want to ban mifepristone, ban stem cell research, implement a White House task force on pro-life issues, add more work requirements to Medicaid, cancel Head Start for kids, and expand access to fertility awareness family planning methods, because they do not like that you can get contraception under his eye. Joining me now is former Alabama Senator Doug Jones, distinguished senior fellow at the Center for American Progress, and Juanita Tolliver, Democratic strategist, MSNBC political analyst, and co-host of the What a Day podcast. I will start with you, Doug Jones. Comment on this race where a Democratic candidate beats the Republican by 25 points, and it's on abortion.
Yeah, no, that was a big win. It was a big win for Alabama. It was a big win for Democrats. It's a big win for women across the board. Marilyn Lands, who won that race, went straight at the women's rights issue, the women's reproductive rights issue. She went straight at that, and that was a big piece of this. It was also, though, Joy, part of a bigger picture, I think, with the way the Alabama legislature is treating this whole issue of the culture wars. There's a fight against, they're looking at banning books. They're looking at fighting women. They're looking at, you name it, absentee ballot issues that are there, charter schools taking away money from public schools. This was a big issue. The women's reproductive rights was huge, and Marilyn was unabashed in the way she approached this. And I was really proud of the campaign she ran and won last night in a big, big way, and it sends a wonderful message across the country. And
I wonder if it sends a wonderful message, Juanita Tolliver, to the Democratic Party, which notoriously has kind of given up on the South. But here you have the most southern of states, Alabama, you have this woman blow out her opposition on abortion. And let me just put up a couple of things. Here's the states where abortion is banned or limited. Like, it's almost completely banned in the state of Alabama, and yet she persisted. So we'll put that up. Then you can see it kind of looks like the old Confederacy. And then the states where reproductive rights actually could be on the ballot. Now, one of those states is Florida, Florida, Florida. Do the Democrats plan, in your view, do you think that they will fight on this issue specifically, as well as on the book bans, the attacks on LGBTQ rights, the whole culture war issue? Is the South back as an issue?
Absolutely. And I say that because President Biden gave us a preview of that earlier this year when he said 2024 is about the fight for freedoms. That encompasses all of the things involved in this culture war that Doug Jones and you have mentioned, Joy. I think when it comes to abortion, I want people to remember this moment, because there will be a moment in this election cycle when folks say, wait, Democrats can't just focus on abortion. They're focusing too much on abortion. People said that in 2023. They said that in 2022. And every cycle, it has been a winning, mobilizing issue for Democrats. So look at Alabama when you start to feel those jitters, folks, and settle yourself. This is an issue that voters mobilize around, especially when the attacks continue across the country.
Right. And, Doug Jones, it's because they're being it's very Handmaid's Tale. They have even these women who are sort of the Serena Joys out there arguing being sort of automatons for ending the rights of their fellow sisters. But they're so clear about it. They're like, we're going to do a national ban. Lindsey Graham is saying that. They're not even hiding it anymore. They're essentially saying we're going to incarcerate women in the stirrups. That's what we're doing. Do your Republican colleagues, do they understand between that and then saying no DEI to the point where you've got even Alabama, coaches saying, don't send your kids to my state. Don't come and play football in Alabama. Just don't come here because we don't like black folks here. Like, do they see what they're doing?
If they could see what they're doing, I don't think they would do it. They don't care at this point. Joy, I think that they are so concerned about getting primary opposition from the far right. Because you've got to remember, the South, like so many other places in the country, but particularly the South, is very, very gerrymandered in our state house and our state legislature. This district was as close to a swing district in the state house as you can possibly get. So we're very gerrymandered, and they are playing to that very far right base. But I think right now what they're overplaying that hand, because it is, while it's gerrymandered, there are a lot of people taking a second look here to say maybe these people have just absolutely gone too far in so many ways. That, I think, was the message that came out of Maryland's win last night. People have gone too far, and we're going to start mobilizing. We're going to start looking at all of these races, and we're going to start giving folks a run for their money and making this state competitive. That's the key, is making this state competitive.
And, you know, the thing is the sort of trick that it's been very difficult to figure out how to untie this knot, Juanita, which is that, you know, white women on a majority do vote Republican. Even in states where they're voting away their reproductive rights. I think about Georgia, where they voted for Brian Kemp and his 6-week abortion ban. And so it's like, what will unlock that fealty that white women have to it? And I read this thing in Slate that talked about the origins, the white nationalist origins of the anti-abortion movement. It says the following in Slate. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the movement against abortion mainly included white supremacists who, pointing to declining white birth rates, believed that legalized abortion would mean race suicide for white Protestants. You still look at it, and you don't think they want you and me to have more babies. I don't think they want Latinos to have more babies. How do you get the message to white women that they are the target? And they should vote accordingly.
A message is definitely going to come from Republicans, because remember, this attack on abortion is not isolated to abortion. It's reproductive rights generally. And we saw white women have a wake-up call when IVF was on the table. And that is something that I think, when we understand how this is going to impact IVF, even the list that you had put up from the Heritage Fund report for 2025, it included same-sex relationships as well. This is not isolated, and it won't focus exclusively on abortion or reproductive rights. It is expansive. And the other thing that came out of that Heritage report that is a sign of them going too far, as Doug Jones mentioned, is they literally want to delete the language from the books. I'm talking about deleting abortion from federal regulations, deleting the phrase reproductive rights, deleting DEI, all of it. And I think when people fully frame it as this is not isolated to abortion, they're coming for IVF, they're coming for contraception, they're coming for anything privacy related with a roadmap given by Supreme Court Justices Alito and Thomas, then that's what's going to resonate.
Watch The Handmaid's Tale as much of it as you can stand. That's what they want to do. And by the way, you know how you know it's not about babies? They're trying to kill Head Start, which is for the babies. Former Senator Doug Jones, Juanita Tolliver, thank you.
Hey, everyone. MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.